Triggers can't stop you from manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I am going to be breaking down why your triggers cannot stop you from manifesting anything that your heart desires. But first, if you are somebody who wants some accountability, inspiration, and you would really like to stay on top of your game and consistent when it comes to manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires, I offer monthly membership coaching. This is where I hop on live every week, where you can get your questions answered by me in real time. You can get access to this by clicking the link below in the description box. I also offer an online course, Manifest Your SP Mastery, that you can get instant access to by clicking the link below in the description box. And finally, I also offer one-on-one coaching to help you manifest anything you desire. Again, you can get access to this by also clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. Triggers cannot stop you from manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires. So, a lot of people see triggers as something like negative, as this bad thing that is standing in between them and their manifestation. And the truth of the matter is, your triggers cannot stop you from manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires. If you actually understand the process of manifestation. So, a lot of the times people will say, okay, well, I want to manifest like a specific person or more money or a better job or my dream body, okay? And they will begin to affirm. So affirmations is a really good way to begin to change your thought patterns, right? Because an affirmation is just a thought that you are thinking. So every time you're thinking a thought, you are affirming. And manifestation is very simple. All you have to do is think as if you're the version of you that has your manifestation through affirmations. And when these new stories become dominant within you, dominant meaning you're telling the new story more than the old story, your subconscious mind has to produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. This is when your manifestation will occur. Now, the process of this journey, looks something like this. Initially, you have an old assumption, right? Old beliefs and stories and assumptions that go against what it is that you're trying to manifest. So let's take the example of a specific person, because that's what most of you are always asking about. So initially, you have a current assumption that says, my specific person hates me, they don't love me, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, or whatever story it is that you have going, right? But this is an assumption within you. This is your belief. These are your dominant thought patterns, okay? So now let's say you begin to tell a new story. Okay, that implies you are the version of you that has your specific person. So you begin to think as if you're the version of you that has your specific person through affirmation. So you begin to perhaps affirm, me and my specific person are in a happy, loving, committed relationship. I'm always prioritized. I'm always chosen. I'm always worthy. Okay. So let's say that you begin to affirm this. Well, initially, your mind is going to reject it. And that's normal. And the reason why your mind is going to reject it is because the old assumption that says SP hates me, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, that's what is dominant. So initially when you begin to tell this new story, your mind's going to reject it. And this is where people trip up, because people think, oh, okay, hasn't worked. No, I'm feeling negative emotion. My mind's not accepting it. And it comes from a lack of understanding that this is actually part of the process, right? That initially your mind is going to reject it because the old assumption is what's dominant. So initially, when you're starting to tell a new story, your mind's not going to accept it. But that's the whole point of persisting. You persist anyway through repetition with the new story. Eventually, the more you persist with the new story, your mind will begin to accept it. And then you will feel a shift in your emotions. Because remember that emotions are just a manifestation of your thought patterns. Your thoughts manifest into emotions, not the other way around. So when you begin to tell a new story that implies you're the version of you that has your manifestation through repetition, you do this over and over and over again, no matter what, even if at first your mind is rejecting it, you will begin to feel a shift. Now, during this process, and when I say process, I don't want you to think of a process as like a long outdrawn thing. This could happen in a day, 2 days, weeks, months. It's totally different for everybody depending on how much resistance you have, like opposing thoughts you have. But during this process of getting rid of the old thoughts and assumptions and replacing it with the new assumptions that imply your end, you're going to be triggered. in between, okay? Because initially, the old assumption is what is dominant. So when you see things in your 3D, you're going to be triggered because the old assumption is still dominant within you. That's normal. That doesn't mean that something's gone wrong or that you're not getting your manifestation. You just have to understand that initially, you're not yet the version of you that has your manifestation, meaning your new assumption isn't what's dominant within you. The old assumption is. That's why you're triggered. If the new assumption was dominant within you, if the new story was dominant within you, you wouldn't feel triggered. You just wouldn't, right? Because your new assumption is now, oh, like I'm lovable, I'm worthy. Me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship. So whatever the 3D is showing you, you wouldn't actually be triggered by it, right? Those triggers belong to the old version of you with the shitty assumption. Okay, so it's really about understanding this, that initially you are going to be triggered in this process. Like initially when you're instilling the new story and the new affirmations that imply your end, you are going to feel triggered when you see things in your 3D. That is normal, but your job is to persist anyway. Okay, your job is to honor your triggers, feel it if you need to, but then persist with the new story anyway. Like keep your thoughts in check anyway. Continue to think as if you're the version of you that has your specific person anyway. Understanding that this is just part of it, right? That there will be a shift, that the more you persist, there will be a shift where you feel triggered less and less, okay? Where maybe before when you were triggered, it would take you like days to get out of that trigger, but now it takes you like minutes or hours to get out of that trigger. That's still progress. And the truth of the matter is, this isn't even about being triggerless, let me say, like where you're not triggered at all. And that's the only way to get your manifestation. That's not true, okay? I've manifested plenty of things while being triggered, like along the way. And I still got my manifestation. Okay. Now I was definitely triggered less and less, like as I continued to persist. But yeah, I don't want you to think that, oh, you have to become triggerless in order to manifest what you want. No, it's just more about minimizing the triggers and minimizing the reaction time of your triggers. That's what it's about. And you can still get what you want, because remember that it's your dominant thoughts that manifest. Dominant meaning you're telling the new story more than the old story. It's not, you have to 100% only think of the new story. You're not allowed to think at all against it. No, it's your dominant thoughts that manifest. So I hope that clears up why triggers literally cannot stop you from manifesting whatever it is that you want. If you really understand that triggers are actually part of the process, and that it's normal to feel triggered initially because your old assumptions of what is dominant, but as you keep persisting, that will change. You will feel triggered less and less. It might be that you're still triggered up until you get your manifestation, but the intensity of that trigger will not be what it was before. So maybe if you were triggered about a certain thing before, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the max, you were triggered about it at a level 10. But now you're only triggered about it maybe at a level 1 or 2. Okay. But again, my message is it doesn't stop you from manifesting what you want. It's just that the triggers get less and your reaction time for your triggers gets shorter and shorter because you've persisted in the new story. You've made that more dominant. So you are now the version of you that has your specific person or that has your manifestation, whatever that is for you. So to recap, the reason why triggers cannot stop you from manifesting what you want is because as you continue to persist in the new story through affirmations, you begin to think as if you're the version of you that has your specific person, the money, the new car, the new job, whatever it is that you want. As you persist in this new state, you will feel less triggered. Okay, but the key is to persist in the new state. Then your triggers will get less and less and less because you're becoming the version of you that has your manifestation. You're entering a new state where those triggers don't really have power over you anymore because you're in a new state, because you persisted with the new story. So keep persisting with your new story, but make the new story dominant within you. When the new story becomes dominant within you, your subconscious mind will produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.